Salutations again, my friends. It's been less than a month. Would you look at that? So, full steam ahead in Appalachian Adventure. Like I mentioned in the last video, we are working in what was Franklin County, the New River Valley, specifically this aero looping roller coaster, the mighty Appalachian Loopin machine. And that's a kind of a wordy name, but I kind of like that. It doesn't really have a very specific theme. It's kind of just this, it's a machine in Appalachia that does loops. I have nothing else for you. I guess the general concept behind this is it's going to be a pair of brothers who just have this workshop and this warehouse. I don't know, it's nothing crazy extravagant, very loosely themed, but we're really honing in on the Dollywood aesthetic. Specifically with this build, we're going to go full Tennessee Tornado type vibe, if you're familiar with that. Very large station platform that's elevated with utility below. We'll probably do like an arcade or something, but I knew I wanted a big wooden building, kind of make this a kind of a centerpiece to this section of the park. It does look a little bit different. We'll go over it in the real-time overview, and we'll do some tegidcam view stuff per usual, but it feels good to have the creative juices flowing again, you know, adding texture and details here and there to kind of make it look a little bit more girthy, but not too intense. Because one thing I've noticed with the building style that was in phase 1, which I'm disgusted that's, if you go to that, first of all, that's the first video you see on the channel when you go to the channel, and then when you go to my workshop page, that's the only real big project on there. So I don't want you guys to think I'm complete dog shit. This game, we've gotten a little bit better. So this is kind of teetering the line between adding a lot but not adding too much. Just I don't know. I really just, this station build is just totally winged it. Like, I had a few ideas for what we wanted, and we kind of just kept toying around with different things until we got to something we're somewhat satisfied with. And there's still some more work to be done that'll get done off camera, but really not a whole hell of a lot to hoot and holler about here today, boys. Just getting stuff done. And this new so I guess we can kind of talk about what the New River Junction is going to be. And so the New River Valley is a region in Appalachia that I actually currently live in right now. And it's got that a lot of old school Main Street buildings and stuff. So we're gonna be able to incorporate some bricky kind of industrial Gilded Age architecture and such. And we have a lot of references that we can go off of here that you will not necessarily find online. Images of America, images of modern America by Arcadia Publishing just always comes in clutch with like the cool historical pictorial books for different regions in America. And we're going to be referencing a lot of these very hardcore here just to kind of make sure we get a cool New Rivery Junction-y kind of aesthetic going, I guess. So I'm excited to show you guys in the real-time overview what's been done and what we're planning on, because we have a little bit more done than what meets the eye on just the time lapse, and that's a running theme. I don't go in and play and press record every time I play. That would just be a tedious, daunting task that I simply, 1, don't have time for, or 2, the care to complete and sift through all that footage. So this is really, I really just kind of click, okay, I'm on a kick right now, record for an hour, speed it up, and now I can kind of explain to you guys what you can expect in the real-time overview. So it's a lot more. Don't go anywhere, please. And we'll go over all that stuff. It's fun. It's exciting. We have a lot of new buildings. Kind of, if you remember the first one, we had the distillery, I believe is what we called it, the restaurant. Still gonna do that loosely themed to Moonshine Bandits, because that little piece of history, the Bondurant brothers, what we originally had with Iron Bandit, the park's first RMC, which was disgusting. We're still gonna carry some of that theming over, because Franklin County is still a hop, skip, and a motherfucker away, like 5 minutes down the road from where I live. So we're gonna still reference that in the distillery. The RMC isn't Iron Bandit anymore. Think more Hot Shot kind of things, but that's gonna be a separate designated video that we're already working on, because it's very lightning rod-esque, and what with all the off-season maintenance and the iBox conversion happening at Dollywood with that mess of a contraption, we'll be doing a designated video for that, layout, theming, all that good fun stuff, and I'm excited for that. So I really don't have a whole hell of a lot more to say to you gentlemen. And still a dystopian kind of future, I think we're in some trouble, but I don't want to get flagged, and I'm over controversial topics. I'm over ranting about those things because it just pisses people off and it makes you crazy, and it's not good for your heart or your mental health. So stay happy, stay healthy, hug your parents, and have a very Merry Christmas if I don't see you by then. See you in the real-time overview. I love you. Stay beautiful. And per usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're here from Planet Coaster Console, well, honestly, I think them just giving Console all the attention is just a real kick in the nuts to the, bitchier echelons of the Planet Coaster community. You know who you are. But I still love you. Of course I still love you. Alright, well, here we are in the real-time overview, gentlemen. A few things have changed from the last episode here in Settlers Square, and I'll just quickly go over those, and then we'll get to the girth of this episode. That is the mighty Appalachian Loopin machine. With the hyphen, Loopin, not looping. You gotta remember where we are. Yee, I guess, or whatever it is you kids in Appalachia say. So, nothing much in the set on the main stretch of Settlers Square. We still have to do the interiors for some of the buildings. The Emporium and this gift shop kind of deal over here. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to make that just yet, but we'll get there. We'll get to that eventually. One big notable difference, I finally got around to making the old train depot. You know how that's kind of going to be the backstory is that this was the original train station for the park, and then just over the years they decided they needed something a little bit more practical, a little bit more guest flow. I just feel like it would get very congested here. If you're walking straight into the park, I just feel like there'd be a headache of congestion right here in this little corner that would just realistically not make a lot of sense. So at another point, they decide, well, we need to build a train station over in the New River Junction, which is where we've been working and what we'll get to momentarily. This cool roller coaster station. Sorry guys, it's been a day. Been very, very, very tired lately, so I do apologize if I sound a little bit, out of the loop. But just kind of, threw together some stuff, maybe make this look a little bit more like it's not abandoned entirely, but they're using it for, storage and such. We got some walls up and everything, so it's not just, completely, a complete mess in shambles, I guess. So that's what's really been going on there. It's cool when this comes by, and it's cool when you ride through it. I don't know if we have a train on the way. Do we? We do not. But just more loose ends that need to be tied up with this kind of trestle and stuff, and adding some rock work and a backstage access point right here. Just kind of make everything flow together and look well again, nice and realistic. All those good, fun things that this game allows you to do. So let's talk about this Aero roller coaster, and I will have a video out with a lot of off-ride footage and a point of view and stuff here eventually for you guys. I'll make that a standalone thing. Really, the cool thing about this coaster is that this was the first coaster I built, in Appalachian Adventure, this park. I mean, this park has seen a lot of changes. If you followed the series at all, I hope you didn't because it was trash. This park's gone through a lot of changes, but this coaster's location and the utilization of the terrain and all that good stuff, it hasn't changed at all. At all. And I just think that's super cool because, I've been working in this park for about 2 years now, I think it's been. And it's neat having, the older rides be, they kind of stood the test of time, and there's the train. But this coaster hasn't really changed at all, so I think that's really neat. I want to kind of, let that tie in and resonate through the park somehow. I don't know. I told you, and now you know, and that's all there is to know. But really, and this path hasn't changed at all either. Some of the cinematics that you saw at the beginning of the video, they were all filmed right here. So these shots are legit. You get that view of Bigfoot, and you get these loops or these corkscrews coming over the path. Don't flame me, you thuzies, because I said loops instead of corkscrews. Okay. We'll do some tegidcam views here in a little bit, and we'll really hone in on those aesthetics. But this is what I showed you in the time lapse, and the station is pretty much complete. Just some more loose ends and such, loose article bins, all that good stuff. Tie in this exit ramp right here, and you will exit down into what will be an arcade kind of deal. Total Tennessee Tornado vibes, like I had mentioned before. but it's just bringing in all the loose ends and everything. And again, there's really no theme to it. It's a machine that some rednecks built, and it goes upside down. Whoopty shit. I really got nothing else, but I wanted there to be a lot of substance and a lot of things to look at, but I wanted it to still be simple. You know, you kind of can't. You can get away with just doing all these kind of, you know, wooden, you know, building pieces and grid pieces and stuff, but there's just something that hits different about using the individual, you know, pillars and such to make walls and, you know, allow for that natural light to seep through and everything. I think down here we'll probably have an access for some sort of maintenance type deal, and we also have to do a transfer track over here to the right of the brake run, or right when you come out of the station. I haven't entirely decided on that yet. If you have any ideas, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. All that good stuff, analytics, engagements, let's get those numbers up, boys. I seriously can't thank you guys enough for sticking around watching these videos, and we're still pulling. I mean, they're not like, you know, Logan Paul numbers or anything, but it's cool seeing that this many people actually care to check out the project. So it really is heartwarming when you guys do engage and come through with some clutch ideas. But really not a whole lot to hoot and holler about, just more loose ends that need to get tied in right here, little details and such. These are just flipped windows, actually. I just thought it added a kind of a nice little, you know, a good amount of girth, but not enough to, you know, send her to the hospital or anything like that. So those are just flip windows. Ta-da. Now you know how to add texture. And this is going to be the new River Junction. What was Franklin County is going to be a theater, and it says American Adventure because, fun fact, this is actually an entrance building that I built for a buddy of mine, Alex, Zero G Coasters, who is actually getting into the Planco YouTube grind. I will link his channel down below so you guys can go ahead and check out Tacoma Point. That is a Cedar Fair park that we'll be collabing on and such. Well, where's Valley America, dude? I think it's not dead. It just needs a lot of work and some cleaning up, and it's gross at the moment. We'll clean it up and I'll get something out for all you Cedar Fair fanatics. But this will be the Parks Theater. Not sure on a name. I haven't changed it from American Adventure, which was the name of the park we were working on at the time of, you know, this building's inception and such. But it adds a nice kind of, it draws you to the back of the park when you're coming up on here. Might need to fix the terrain a little bit, smooth it out a little bit right here, which is really always a nightmare, but it's a cool, like, focal point that draws you to the back part of this park. So we'll definitely utilize all that. And right behind the Appalachian Loopin machine, you know, all this cool terrain work and stuff. This coaster, I think it sits about 88 feet off the terrain. Don't quote me on that. Let's see, 88 feet off the terrain, and then we drop you down. So it goes 100, so it's about 123 foot drop when you include the terrain and stuff. So if you're getting big Loch Ness Monster vibes from this, well, that was 100% intentional. But on the back side of all this crazy terrainness, we have what is Blue Ridge Bicentennial coming together. But I've actually time-lapsed like all this build, and I have a lot more stuff coming that I want to show you guys. So that'll be a future episode. I won't say the next one because I genuinely just don't know. I kind of am winging this whole Planet Coaster YouTube thing at the moment. It's not necessarily a priority, which is, I guess, an important part of growing up. But I wish, I yearn for the days where I was back living at mom and dad's, and all I had to worry about was putting out crappy Planet Coaster YouTube videos. 'Twas a simpler time, gentlemen. But we'll wait for this autosave to finish shitting out, which it looks like it did, and we will jump into tegidcam and we'll take some cool, a quick little stroll around the coaster, and I'll give you an idea of what we're looking at. See you in a split second. Okay, so here's that iconic view down Settlers Square, entering into the park. You got Bigfoot off to the right, and you got the Appalachian Loopin machine, mighty Appalachian Loopin machine, dead ahead. It draws you in, it's a great focal point. I don't have a whole hell of a lot more to say other than that. This is awesome. I mean, again, this was a happy accident. This wasn't necessarily anything that was intentionally planned. I had different ideas for what I was going to do as like a central hub at the end of Settlers Square, but I think leaving it open and having just the trestle and the arrow looper right there, and then some ominous Bigfoot vibes off in the distance, it really feels nice and authentic, and I'm very, 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 very okay with that. So again, more Loch Ness Monster vibes. You walk up on the lift hill, and then you can walk under it, and takes you to the back of the park. That's a big thing at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. More of the kind of overgrown train station, abandoned train station. We threw in a lot of foliage, and you can still see where the entrance would be and where the queue would be and everything, but time has passed and nature has run its course and filled in a lot of foliage, tree, bushy goodness. You know, we don't like them trimmed, boys. You know how we do over here on this cringy little YouTube channel. So you walk under the lift hill and you come up on these cool corkscrews. These are from the workshop, these supports. It's not necessarily lined up ideally, or like, you know, the best it doesn't touch, but it gets the job done. You know the aesthetic, you know what we're going for, and I think that's really all I gotta say on that subject. We have a lot of wooden structures and such in here, some aqueducts that run down from the Blue Ridge Bicentennial section, but this is all a video content for another video at a future date. So we'll go ahead and back that ass up real quick, and we will wait for this damn... Did I press pause? I did press pause. That might explain a few things. But again, really cool views walking under this. Like, I mean, this was intentional. The path under the corkscrews, that was intentional. But the views that you get right here with, you know, because again, we're trying to attack this with a realistic mindset. There would be a lot of land clearing, but over time, trees and foliage and shit would grow in. But it still gives you cool lines of sight on the more modern editions. And this is kind of definitely a Busch Gardens vibe as well, where you have the inverted coaster back there, and you know, right up in the big dive coasters grill. That was totally Griffin Alpengeist inspired, but instead it's Bigfoot and the Yeti. Well, the Bigfoot you actually do see in Appalachia, the Yeti not so much, but I think mythical beasts is kind of like a cool lineage of theme I think we can go with on the big coasters in this park. So I think that's something we're gonna go ahead and run with, but we'll go over the Yeti in another video. That's just a whole nother, well, beast. We got puns out the ass today, boys, but let's see what's going on over here to the left. This is honestly, I haven't seen some of these views before either, so if I sound super excited, I do apologize. But these are the simpler things in life, like nerdy theme park video games really are what make this plagued existence worth it, I guess. So there's a station up there. I wanted to make sure the station wasn't too, you know, grand. It's a big freaking building if you see it from the other side, but I didn't want it to kind of overshadow this path and, you know, not feel natural and stuff. So we made sure we left in some foliage, and it kind of camouflages in there pretty well. Like, you wouldn't really notice it unless you're looking for it, but, well, it's up there. So let's go back this way for a split second and around the carousel. Oh, and super awesome views of the skyrocket. Again, more Busch Gardens vibes. I need to work more Dollywood into this park, just mainly to piss off my buddy Chris, who actually works there, but we'll do that as the park and project progresses. So coming into New River Junction, we got our totally not ripping off lightning rod launched RMC. Hot Shot, another video. Again, if you remember the Hot Shot series that was briefly on the channel a year or so ago, I apologize, but it's going to basically be that 2.0, but, well, better and actually an RMC, and not try and pass it off as an Intamin like a scrub. God bless the mod that has been created for Planet Coaster. So here's the station for the mighty Appalachian Loopin machine. It's kind of big, but it really, you know, the older buildings, you don't necessarily have to sell the whole force perspective pre-master plan building type deal. That really wasn't a big thing until about the late 70s into the 80s in theme park development, after, you know, Disney perfected that and all that stuff. Seriously, all regional theme park development is tied to two men, Walt Disney, Randall Duell. You know those two names, you know everything you need to know about theme park history. But like I mentioned earlier, the theater adds a nice focal point. We'll draw you into the back part of the park. And we have what will be the Old Dominion drop line. If you remember the first iteration of Appalachian Adventure, we'll carry that theme over into this drop tower. It's just in a different location, and I actually think it works out, well, quite damn well. So also the barn will be the distillery still, a dine-in restaurant, patio vibes, all that good stuff over here. But if we want to make it look nice and realistic, a lot of details, that will have its own designated video. Cool views of Hot Shot, the RMC, the launched RMC, and the station. Just, you know, it's just a big building, and we're gonna have an arcade under here, so there's actually some utility going on. We got our buddy the Archer, you know, scaling us out and all that good stuff. And we'll probably have the entrance over here along the backside of the station building, just so it's kind of an excuse for guest flow to kind of go further back into the park. That's usually what you're always trying to go for. I guess in theme park design is you want your guests to walk the whole park and check out everything, because everything has some tacky freaking merchandise tied to it, and well, goddammit, it's a business and they need your money. So really not a lot more to say. I can't really think of anything else I need to show you guys. Just super cool views. Bigfoot and Yeti. The Yeti right there, and what is the work in progress Blue Ridge Bicentennial section with the aqueducts and the water wheels and all those cool vibes. So I think this is a fairly decent place to leave you, gentlemen, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Hopefully before Christmas. If not, enjoy the time with your family, and don't give your elderly family members COVID, because seriously, I just want this bullshit to be over and I want to go back to my parks, damn it. I love you. Like, comment, subscribe, and I think that's about it. Signing off. I love you. Have a good night. Gross.